Some women walk into a room and say nothing, yet everyone feels them. Their presence is undeniable. Not loud, not forced, but still they shift the energy. Why? Because they are not trying to be seen. They are already rooted in who they are. In today's world, performance is praised. Outfits, status, and perfect words. But there is a quieter power, one that doesn't need an audience to exist. This video will uncover the 10 rare habits that make a mature woman truly irresistible. Habits that rise not from charm or technique, but from stillness, discipline, and depth. You will discover how the ancient Shaolin monks trained not only their bodies, but their attention, how their presence could silence a crowd. These teachings were not just for warriors, they were for anyone seeking mastery over the mind and soul. In this video, we apply those very principles to the inner strength of the feminine spirit. Each habit we explore is a doorway, a way of walking through life with grace instead of urgency, with clarity instead of confusion, and above all, with presence instead of performance. From emotional mastery to sacred solitude, from wordless compassion to silent confidence, this journey will reveal the kind of strength that can't be bought or borrowed. Stay with me until the end, because the final habit is one very few speak about, and yet it may be the key to unshakable self-respect. Welcome to Shaolin Soulfire. Subscribe to this channel, where ancient wisdom meets the modern path. The fire is within. Let's awaken it together. The storm is not the problem. The problem is when we believe we are the storm. A mature woman knows this. She does not fear her emotions, nor does she worship them. She feels everything, but she is not ruled by what she feels. Anger, grief, joy, longing, they rise within her, but they do not drown her. She watches, breathes, allows, and in doing so, she remains whole. In the Shaolin tradition, we are taught that emotions are like wind passing through bamboo. The bamboo bends, never breaks, it moves but returns to stillness. This is the essence of true strength, not resistance, not suppression, but flow without collapse. Most people believe emotional control means cutting off feeling, but that is not mastery, that is numbness. A woman who is truly powerful allows tears to come without shame, but also knows when to sit silently and wait. She listens to the emotion, learns from it, and then lets it move on like a traveler at her door. Stillness does not mean the absence of feeling, it means the presence of inner space, a sacred pause before action. That is where her power lives, in the breath before the reply, in the choice not to fight, but to see, in the decision to protect peace instead of win battles. When others yell, she lowers her voice. When drama pulls, she stays centered. Her calm is not weakness, it is discipline. Emotional storms will come, but she will not abandon herself to the wind. She stands like a mountain, rooted, awake, and free. There is a silence more powerful than shouting, one that carries the weight of discipline and self-respect. A mature woman knows the value of this silence. She does not speak to fill space. Her words are few, but they land with clarity. When she speaks, people listen, not because she demands attention, but because she doesn't give her voice away easily. In the Shaolin path, the tongue is regarded as a weapon, not just in its sharpness, but in its potential for harm or healing. Control the tongue like the blade of a sword, the masters say. Every word is a choice, every sentence a reflection of one's inner state. The mature woman understands this deeply. She has sharpened her awareness so that her speech is clean, steady, and purposeful. She does not gossip because she has no need to pull others down. She does not boast because her word does not come from applause. She knows that most conversations are distractions, escapes from the discomfort of stillness. But she no longer runs from stillness, she lives in it. When she does speak, her voice carries presence. She speaks slowly, from the body, not the mind. She pauses between thoughts. She watches the reaction of others without attachment. Her words uplift, reveal, or release, but never clutter. This restraint is not repression, it is art. It is the result of long observation, of seeing how much chaos is created by careless speech. While others chase approval with noise, she remains rooted in calm. She doesn't try to be wise, she simply honors the wisdom that silence reveals. And so, her words become rare and radiant, like sunlight through a break in the clouds, not frequent but unforgettable. Grace is not a performance, it is a rhythm, quiet, intentional, and deeply rooted in presence. A mature woman moves with this rhythm. There is no urgency in her steps, no flinch in her posture. She does not hurry through moments. She enters them fully. Her body speaks of peace. The way she pours tea, the way she sits without fidgeting, the way she listens without interrupting. Each movement is a reflection of the stillness she carries inside. Where others rush, she remains deliberate. Where others chase, she waits with calm certainty. In ancient teachings, monks were trained to walk as if every step mattered, as if the earth itself were sacred ground. This woman moves the same way, slowly, steadily, without waste. Her grace does not come from elegance in the eyes of others. It comes from being in harmony with herself. There is no disconnect between her thoughts and her actions, her intentions and her pace. She is not trying to keep up. She is not caught in the tide of endless doing. Her power is in her presence, in knowing that speed often leads to mistakes and noise often hides fear. She chooses clarity over chaos, stillness over stimulation. People notice her not because she demands attention, but because she radiates something rare, ease, a softness that is not weakness but wisdom. She is not concerned with being everywhere or pleasing everyone. She is exactly where she needs to be, fully arrived, unshaken. There is a strength in slowing down, a kind of silent rebellion against a world addicted to hurry. In her graceful movements, we see the discipline of someone who has trained herself to live on purpose, not on autopilot. She is not busy, she is awake. Solitude, to most, feels like absence, but to her, it is presence in its purest form. She seeks no crowd to feel complete, no constant conversation to escape the echo of her own thoughts. She walks alone not out of avoidance but out of reverence, for her solitude is not isolation, it is sanctuary, it is the temple where her spirit returns to itself. In the Shaolin tradition, silence is not emptiness, it is preparation, a quiet space where the soul becomes clear, the breath becomes steady, and the mind becomes still. She has learned this through experience, that the world pulls in many directions, but only stillness pulls her inward. She honors this space like a sacred ritual. Whether sitting beneath a tree, walking without a phone, or closing the door to be alone with her breath, these are not acts of retreat, but of return. In the absence of others, she meets the most essential parts of herself. She is not lonely, she is full of her own energy, of quiet strength, of unseen clarity. Others may fear the silence, thinking it means something is missing, but she knows that the silence speaks, and in it she listens more deeply than words could ever allow. Her solitude is not selfish, it is maintenance. It is how she shows up whole in the world, by first being whole within. Time alone refines her boundaries, sharpens her perception, and restores her inner rhythm. She does not need constant noise to prove she is alive. There is an ancient kind of beauty in a person who enjoys their own company, a serenity that can't be faked. In solitude, she communes with the divine, not in a temple made of stone, but in the quiet temple of her own being. There is a rare kind of strength in a woman who no longer looks outward to decide who she is. Her choices do not come from trends or applause. Her rhythm is not set by the noise of the world. She follows something quieter, deeper, an inner compass that does not shift with the seasons. She has walked through the fire of comparison and come out clean, not because she fought to be better than others, but because she chose to stop measuring. Her value is no longer negotiable. It is rooted, not rented. In a world that shouts who to be, she listens inward and obeys that voice above all. Ancient teachings speak of the unchanging self, the core that remains steady even when everything around it moves. She lives from this core. While others chase validation in numbers, in opinions, in approval, she remembers who she is in silence. That memory is her anchor. Her confidence is not loud. It does not seek to convince. It simply is, like a mountain unmoved by the wind. She is kind, but not easily swayed. She is open, but not seeking. Her decisions are not filtered through the fear of being misunderstood. They are guided by clarity, not crowd. There is no need to explain herself. Her life speaks. Her peace speaks louder. When she walks into a room, there is no mask, no performance, just alignment, just truth. And this is what makes her magnetic, not effort, but integrity. She does not seek validation. She is validation. Her life is not a reaction to the world. It is a reflection of who she has become within. And that inner standard, once found, becomes the only one that matters. Discipline. in her life is not a harsh command. It is a gentle devotion. She doesn't force herself into rigid molds or punish herself into progress. Instead, she creates rhythm. She creates order, not because she must, but because she chooses to honor what matters. Her life flows with quiet structure, a sacred shape to her days. She wakes not just to check off tasks, but to greet the morning with awareness. Her feet touch the ground with intention. Her meals are not rushed, but savored. Her rest is earned, not escaped into. Nothing is automatic. Everything has meaning. In the way of the Shaolin, discipline is not control, it is liberation, a path that frees the mind from chaos and the body from laziness. She understands this well, that every small routine, when done with care, becomes a form of spiritual alignment. Brushing her hair, cleaning her space, writing in silence, each act becomes a ritual, a way of coming back to herself. She is soft, but that softness is held by strong hands. She knows when to say no, when to close the screen, when to go for a walk, instead of numbing the moment. She doesn't wait for motivation, she lives by rhythm, and this rhythm carries her even on the days when willpower fades. To the outside world, it may look simple, but under each calm surface lies quiet commitment. She does not seek perfection, she seeks presence. Her structure isn't a cage, it's a vessel, a sacred space where her energy, attention, and values can live without being scattered. This is the freedom she has earned, not the freedom to do anything, but the freedom to do what is right for her body, her mind, and her soul. Consistently, gently, every day. Letting go is not weakness, it is wisdom. And she has learned this, sometimes through heartbreak, sometimes through silence. A mature woman does not cling, not to titles, not to people, not even to versions of herself that no longer fit. She understands that life is a river, not a container. To try and hold it still is to suffer, but to allow it to flow, this is freedom. She has outgrown the need to hold on tightly. She no longer begs the past to return, nor does she chase what tries to leave. Instead, she opens her hands. What stays, she honors. What leaves, she blesses, not because she feels nothing, but because she trusts everything. In ancient teachings, attachment is seen as the root of suffering, not because we should not love, but because love should not come with chains. She loves deeply, but without ownership. She gives her care without trying to control the outcome. Her peace no longer depends on who stays or goes. She has let go of needing to be understood, let go of fixing others, let go of asking life to go according to plan. In that surrender, she finds grace. She does not live by resistance, she lives by rhythm. When it is time to release, she releases, and in doing so, she lightens. She doesn't force the moment to last. She doesn't hold grudges to prove she was hurt. She allows the season to change, the leaf to fall, the chapter to close. This is not passivity, it is deep, grounded power. To let go is not to give up, it is to trust. Trust that what is real will return, what is meant will remain, and what no longer serves will clear the way for what's next. She doesn't force, she flows. Compassion is not always loud. Sometimes it is the quiet presence of someone who sees you clearly, without judgment, without trying to change you. She carries this kind of compassion, the kind that does not rush to rescue, but chooses to witness. She listens with her whole being, not to respond but to understand. Her silence is not absence, it is space, a rare space where others can unfold without fear. She does not confuse love with control. She does not call people broken just so she can feel useful by fixing them. Instead, she honors their path, their timing, their truth. She holds their pain gently, but never makes it hers to solve. This is the essence of sacred compassion, full presence without possession. In ancient practice, the highest form of care is not intervention, it is awareness. To look at another being and see their struggle without trying to reshape it. To offer warmth without needing to lead. She lives by this teaching. Her heart is open, but her boundaries are strong. She gives what she can and releases the rest. She is not drained by the weight of everyone's emotions because she does not try to carry what isn't hers. She offers understanding, not solutions, respect, not rescue. And in doing so, people feel seen, perhaps for the first time. There is no performance in her kindness. It doesn't rise for attention, nor does it fall when unrecognized. It is steady like a flame in the wind. Her presence softens hard edges, not by force, but by being deeply real. She is a soft space in a hard world, a place where masks fall away and truth can breathe. Her compassion doesn't ask for thanks, it simply exists, quiet, steady, and endlessly alive. Perfection is an illusion that exhausts the soul. She no longer chases it. A mature woman seeks something deeper: growth, not the kind that demands endless achievement, but the kind that unfolds gently like a flower opening in its own time. She accepts her scars, not as shameful marks, but as sacred symbols of the paths she's walked, the lessons she's earned, and the strength she now carries. She does not wear a mask of flawlessness. She does not pretend to be finished. Instead, she allows herself to be real, unfinished, evolving, beautifully human. Where others hide their cracks, she lets light shine through them. Because she knows it's not in appearing perfect that we connect, it's in being true. Ancient teachings remind us that mastery is not found at the peak, but in the steps we take along the way. She lives by this. Each day is a new beginning, each mistake a message, each challenge an invitation to become more conscious, not more polished. She sheds what no longer fits: beliefs, roles, old stories. She's not afraid to outgrow who she used to be, and she doesn't cling to identities that limit her. There is freedom in her willingness to change, not to become someone else, but to become more fully herself. She moves through life with softness and courage, not needing to prove, but willing to grow. She knows peace is not found in reaching some imagined summit. It's found in how she walks, how she breathes, how she forgives herself along the way. This is her power, not in being flawless, but in being awake. Awake to the moment, awake to the lesson, awake to the quiet unfolding of who she is still becoming. The most powerful presence is often the quietest. The mature, irresistible woman does not need to prove herself, she simply is. Rooted in ancient wisdom, she walks through life with grace, not noise, with strength, not struggle. The habits we explored today are not traits you are born with. They are practices, intentional choices. They are shaped through stillness, refined by discipline, and deepened through self-awareness. Each moment offers the chance to return to that place within where you are enough, just as you are. You don't have to move faster, do more, or become someone else. You only need to slow down, listen deeply, and let go of what no longer reflects your truth. In that space, the real you begins to rise. Quiet, clear, magnetic. Thank you for walking this path with us today. May you carry these teachings not just in thought, but in how you move, speak, love, and live. If this message spoke to you, support the journey by liking this video, sharing it, and subscribing to our channel Shaolin Soulfire, where ancient wisdom meets the soul of modern life. Until next time, walk gently and stay grounded.